So here we go. It's my daily sketch journal. My first entry into it, I wasn't sure at the time whether to sort of take over both pages or just do one a day. So the first one I did 2. And Stan, my youngest son, was off school, so we watched The Sea Beast. And because not much else happened other than a Zoom with Emma and some fish and chips, I decided to draw the sea beast. So I just Googled that image and copied it from a photo. Here we go, 20th of September, Friday. I thought I'd try and do some birthday cards with the birth flowers on for Mum's birthday. It was a bit cloudy with some sunshine. I've bought some really cheap weather stamps because, again, it's just another thing that's easy just to do. It's a bit of a shame they're red. I'd have quite liked them to be black, but doesn't matter. Saturday was a New Year's party at my friend's house, which was lovely. Beautiful bottles, so I just sketched some bottles. Sunday we bought a new billy goat, and again that's taken from a photo. Monday I do pottery class on Wednesdays, and I've come across on Instagram some people using the cricket joy or the cricket. It depends how you want to pronounce it, really. I never know. So that was exciting. So again, I took a photo, I think, of my daughter's cricket and drew from that. So they're really simple, as you can see. They're really simple pages where I've just picked one thing from that day. A Mum's birthday, so we went to Emma's for lunch. Sometimes I'll put what we're watching on TV, sometimes I don't. What I tend to do quite a lot is I'll think of the one thing I want to draw that day and Google it as a illustration. So for example, for pottery, I was at pottery all day, so I Googled pottery illustration and that came up, so then I sketch that. So I'm not sketching anything from my imagination ever. It's either from a photo or some kind of picture I've seen online that I've Googled. Obviously not a lot happened that day. I'd got some new slippers, so I was wearing those. Sometimes I will just do text. I like playing around with lettering, so this is another nice way for me to explore lettering in a daily sketch journal, because I wouldn't tend to do lettering as much in just normal sketches I do of other things. So for me it's a nice outlet for lettering. Double page spread here for my friend's wedding, which was beautiful, really sunny day. By that point I'd bought some little silicone stamps as well, so they're handy to have. What I haven't mentioned is the date stamp. I always date stamp it, always date stamp every page, and that I've got a Trodat printy, so you just sort of shuffle the dates around and the months and then the years. So this one will go up to 20, 28, 29, 30, 31. Oh, blimey, I'm going to have this for years, which is amazing. What year are we in? 2024. So I will always use the date stamp. Another day of pottery. I went out for lunch and we didn't eat chicken, but there were little wild free-range chickens roaming around, which was nice. Quite a sunny day, a bit cloudy. So you can see over time this just builds up. Big reshuffle in my study, windy washing day, pics from my walk, which was quite a nice day. And you know, when you look back on these days, you remember them. You know, I can't really remember what else happened that day, but I remember picking those on my walk. And it was sunny when I was out, but it was obviously also a bit wet and horrible. So it just builds up little scenes from your day. Storeroom declutter, went to the cinema, more decluttering. I did a pottery masterclass with Russell Kingston. I cooked some croissants, football. Our shower broke. And then this is interesting because, again, it'll be something. So this is on the 14th of October. This will be something I will look back on, or we will in the future go, gosh, when did we do the bathroom? When did we do up the bathroom? And I'll be able to say, do you know what? Let me have a check, because I can dig out a journal and I can go, it was on the 14th of October, 2024. So it's cool. Builds up a really lovely picture of your life. Washing day, electrician here in the bathroom. So again, but just trying to add a bit of character to a washing machine, which is a really boring white good, obviously. And then again, for Mike, the plumber, Mike, the electrician, he doesn't even use these bulbs. We were putting spotlights in, but it's just illustrating them how you want. Started packing for Portugal. Another little stamp. These little stamps I must have got fairly soon. Priority, another stamp. So these are silicone stamps I use. Footballs are really hard and a real pain to draw every week. So I thought it would be really handy just to have a little stamp that I could use for football, which I'll show you later. So these are silicone stamps, and you put them on these little things and they can come on and off, so you can change what stamp you're using. And then I like to use archival ink from Ranger. These are quite nice ink pads. The wooden ones I'll use as well. I have a range of stuff. Packing. Again, for this, my suitcase doesn't look like this, so I googled, you know, vintage suitcases, and it came up quite cool old leather ones. And I've got, again, these are little silicone stamps I'd bought, so it just adds to it. Off on holiday, and then I was recording our days in Portugal, which are lovely to look back on. And the other thing I think about these little sketch journals is they document little places you've been to that I would normally forget where I've been, the places I've been to. So this is a lovely little reminder, because again, I can flip back through a sketch journal and go, oh yeah, that was what the place was called. So yeah, lovely days in Portugal. And again, these would have been really busy days, like quite a lot going on. So that can become quite overwhelming to think, oh my goodness, how am I going to possibly document all that in one day? Well, the truth is you don't have to. You can literally keep to your formula of one thing per day and doing that. So we did lots of other things that day, but part of that day was going and looking at the harbour, walking along the harbour. So that's what I drew that day. And seagulls, loads and loads and loads of seagulls. Another harbour visit, a castle, back home. And then again, didn't really know what to sketch here. Some people came over, caught up on washing, the bake-off, paid some bills, did some admin. All really boring stuff. So the main crux of the day was that it was just a chill day at home. So I just did that with some lettering, which I quite enjoyed. Bathroom arrived. Honey, who's gone very wrong. This is where these footballs come into play now. It's again, football match, roast chicken, Farmvember started. So you get the idea. The main formula for this is pick one thing, sketch it, date stamp it, do a little bit of lettering around it, possibly put the weather, and I do tend to do a little bit of framing around it all. I don't know why, but that's just kind of what I do. A little illustration, bit of lettering, weather, date. Same again. Illustration of what I've done, bit of lettering, weather, date, stamp, framing. Now, for what I tend to use in terms of art supplies, so I would use a fine liner, Unipin, or I have also got Faber-Castell. As long as they're waterproof, then any sort of fine liner will work. Water and fade-proof pigment. So I tend to use a very thin nib, which is a 0.1 for most of it. So this would have been 0.1. I would have written those with this 0.1, and then I would have gone in with a thicker nib. So either my 0.5 or one of these, which is like a Fude nib, so it goes a bit fatter. Thin and fat, that'll do, Tombow one. So that goes, oh, it can be thin and then it can get dark, thin and fat. So that can produce a nice line, as opposed to just that the whole time. So that's what I'll use, a mixture of these two generally, sometimes a 0.5, which is a bit of a thicker nib. So I will do that, and I will never ever use pencil first. It will always just be straight in with pen, and it will be what it will be. Sometimes it goes wrong, sometimes it works out quite well. It just it doesn't matter. I don't mind at all. I haven't redone any of these pages. I've just gone with what they look like. I mean, you know, come on, sometimes and the perspective's all wrong there. It just doesn't matter. To colour these in, I keep it loose generally and quick, and I will use my go-to Kuretake paints. I've got a selection of different sizes, but that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That's my 12 one, so that's got quite a few just basic colours. It's that size. So just light washes, and then sometimes I will go over with a bit of pencil, like details, and that's generally like Caran d'Ache Luminance or Prismacolor I'll use, or I have also got Derwent. I like this colour, you can see it's very short. So it's just a mixture of light watercolour washes and colouring pencil generally. And that really is how I deal with my daily sketch journal. I hope you've enjoyed watching.